Welcome everybody to NAB Stadium here in Auchenflower as the Brisbane Capitals host the Rockhampton Rockets in QBL semifinals action, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media, the Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, and of course Basketball Queensland. I'm John Guarna, and tonight I'm joined by my men, Dan George, former QBL champion with the Brisbane Capitals and former Siebel All-Star as well, and former Pirates head coach, player, GM, president, everything, Dave Derwin. Guys, huge semifinal game here tonight. The Capitals have only lost one game all season. They fought to get home court advantage through finals. They have it here, and I don't think it could be more important against a very, very hot Rockhampton team. Dave, should be a great game.
Yeah, it really should be. A lot of NBL experience on the floor, past and present. And for me, this is really high quality semi-final where we've got just such two complete rosters. Really good depth in both groups. Obviously for Rocky, most of their damage comes out of their starting five unit, but however, they've got experience with guys that have been in the program a long time. So, Brisbane have finished number one and for a reason. So really looking forward to it.
Dan, I asked you this last week when we were down at the Gold Coast. How much does that home court advantage help the Capitals in this one?
I think tonight it helps a lot. And if you look at the crowd, it's obviously a great turnout. The Capitals haven't won the men's title since 2001, so obviously everyone in the building's pretty geeked up, hoping that this is the year that they can break.
Was that your group?
Might have been. And it was on this floor actually against Cairns. So in this building, so everyone here is pretty geeked up, hoping this is the year they break the drought, and they've obviously got the team and the coach and the roster to do it. But like Dave said, if we look down the other end of the floor, you've got AJ Ogilvie. The matchup with Will Magnay is going to be massively influential in the outcome of the game. Obviously, Jason Kadee. Top to bottom, the rosters are great. I'm looking forward to the James Mitchells and the Zach Carters and those lesser likes to see which of those step up, because I think the big names are going to take care of each other in most cases, but who else is going to step up in a final to hit a crucial three? Because I think it's going to come down to the last 3 or 4 possessions.
I got a chance to catch up with both head coaches before the game, and I asked them specifically how much they each took out of the game a few weeks back, where Brisbane went up to Rockhampton and got a double-digit win in Rockhampton. Both teams a little short-handed in that one. If you're a coach or a player, how much do you take out of that game?
I think you take a little bit. Obviously, you want to see what worked, what didn't, and equally, you have a bit of an insight into how they think they can defend you. So, but at the same time, finals is a different ball game, and I'd like to think that both coaches have got stuff up their sleeve that they haven't shown before. And so again tonight, it's all about adjustments on the fly.
Well, let's hear from Rockhampton head coach Neil Tweedy. Like I said, I chatted with him before the game just to get some of the insights into what we might see from Rockhampton here tonight.
John Guarna here with Rockhampton Rockets head coach Neil Tweedy. Neil, big semi-final here in Brisbane. How was the training this week?
Oh, it was a little difficult. We've obviously got some players with MDL commitments, so we got through enough during the week, but we haven't changed too much, I don't think, over the last month. So everyone's pretty much locked in and know what we're doing tonight, hopefully.
Did you take a lot out of the game against Brisbane not too long ago on your home court?
We did. We changed a lot after that game. We felt like we didn't guard them very well. We're going to do a few things differently tonight to what we did up there, and hopefully we've made the adjustments from that game.
What do you think it's going to take to pull out a win here against Brisbane? They've been up at the top of the ladder all season long, pretty tough at home as well. Look, they've been the best team in the league. They've been dominating down here, and they went and dominated on that road trip to Mackay and Rockhampton. So we know what sort of challenge it is. They've got elite players with Kadee and Anderson in the backcourt, and Magnay's been sensational all year for them. So it's a huge challenge for us, but we're used to these challenges, and hopefully this can be another upset that we're looking for. Well, all the best. Good luck tonight. Thanks, John. Thanks, Neil. Here with the Capitals head coach Sam McKinnon. Sam, semi-final time, home court. How you feeling heading into the big game?
Yeah, I feel good. We've had a great season so far, but it doesn't get you anywhere unless you win a grand final. So that's our team goal and our ultimate goal. So playing Rocky in 40 minutes and looking forward to that game. Like, I think they're a really good team, and we're going to have to bring our A game for 40 minutes.
I asked Coach Tweedy the same thing, so I'll ask you, how much do you take out of that game a few weeks back in Rockhampton where you guys went on the road and got a pretty big win?
I take a bit out of it. Like, we were undermanned. Guys showed some real ticker. Second game in sort of 24 hours, and for our group, that was to solidify finishing first and get home final. So I take a bit out of it, and I learn a bit about how they play. So I've no doubt they're going to come out and junk it up and play lots of D, but I think our guys are ready for it.
What are going to be the keys for the Capitals to get a win and move on to the grand finals?
We need to play at pace. We need to run the ball at all times. They're going to have a smaller rotation than what we do, so we need to get to their legs and, you know, make Brucey work a bit, not just come down and run whatever plays he wants to. So extend the D, yeah, and then just offensively not panic if they run a whole bunch of stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Cheers. And good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was both Rockhampton men's head coach Neil Tweedy and also the Brisbane Capitals head coach Sam McKinnon. Guys, both teams looking pretty good coming into this one. It's a really tough one to pick. We'll take a quick pause for the anthem and then we'll come back and break down what to expect, okay? Another great rendition of the Australian national anthem as we're about 3 minutes away from the tip-off of this matchup between the number 1 seed Brisbane Capitals and the number 5 seed Rockhampton Rockets. I've mentioned a little bit before the anthem, but some key matchups out there on the floor. Jason Kadee, he won the Nothing But Net Media End of Season Awards MVP, and I would be shocked if he didn't win MVP. By the rest of, the Basketball Queensland Awards as well. Him and Sean Bruce, you wonder how much they're actually going to match up on the court. What do you expect to see on the floor, Dan?
Well, it's a good point, John, and who knows how they'll match up for the first 3.5 quarters, but come money time, I expect them to be matched up on each other. At least that's how I would think it's going to play out. But they're both wonderful players, have been for a long time, and I think sometimes the NBL guys don't always shine through during the QBL, but come playoff time they step up. So those two guys are going to step up, and that's going to be an awesome matchup to watch. Magnay and Ogilvy we spoke about a few minutes ago. That's another awesome matchup as well. So there's quality players from top to bottom on both rosters, both really well coached. So the matchups are going to be great to watch.
Yeah, and I think equally, what are they going to do with O'Mara as well? So you've got that O'Mara-Ogilvy combo, and whilst it's probably not the speediest, it's certainly a really good size, and so it'll allow a nice inside-out opportunities for Rockhampton, and Jimmy Mitchell's a wonderful facilitator. So, such an intriguing,
absolutely,
game as to the different styles.
And just watching them warm up, Brisbane looked light and athletic and in shape and ready to run all night.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Rockhampton slow it down and go, that north-south top of the key pick and roll with Ogilvy and Sean Bruce, and they just give them a steady dart all night long, and two very contrasting styles potentially, so it's going to be a great matchup.
And a player that we were talking to Cam Trigar about before the game is Robitou. He's been excellent, and I think people sometimes forget he's on this Rockhampton team. Yeah. He's their leading scorer. How do you guard Robitou if you're Brisbane?
Well, I think for me, he's actually been a little hot and cold, and so I think we saw him lighted up at Southwest only a couple of weeks ago. So he's certainly capable, and he's definitely an NBL fringe-worthy player. So really looking forward. I was just going to say, it'll be interesting to see for the Rockhampton supporters which version of Roberto turns up, because if they get the best version, then Rocky's going to get a real nice punch out of him. And sometimes he's a little, when I say hot-cold, he's a little inconsistent with the three. And so I think if he can continue to look for good shots out of the offense, and especially if the bigs are hurting them, then he might get some nice little quick catches and quick ball reversals, which will give him a bit more time to shoot the three.
Who do you see Brisbane matching up on Roberto? Because you look at the matchups, the two bigs are going to guard the two Rocky bigs, and then it's really three guards for Brisbane, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you'll get the likes of the Cobby Wilsons and then the other Wilson and Stoddies and Kopsicus. So I think you'll just get a variety of guys coming at the Rocky crew all night long.
Really looking forward to this one. We're about to get set underway. Rocky in their road whites, Brisbane in the home blues. Referees for tonight, we do have the crew chief Mark Mill, Matty Crowley, and Jordan Napper. We're about to get set underway here from NAB Stadium in Augenflower. The QBL semifinals kick off with the Brisbane Capitals and the Rockhampton Rockets. It's going to be O'Mara jumping with Will Magnay. Are you looking for a different basketball, or there's the backup basketball? Ball's up, tip is won by Brisbane. They'll have the first opportunity to get some points on the board. And you see the matchups right away. There's Jimmy Mitchell guarding Jason Kadee. Switch that Ogilvie.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them switch the on-ball straight away too, giving Magnay a pretty good look at the rim, but just couldn't quite get at the fall.
There's a good look, and Anderson, active hands, comes up with the steal. Carter, three is down. First basket of the night goes to the captain, Zach Carter. Looks like Cobby Wilson going to have the assignment of Sean Bruce. Anderson guarding Roberto. And Ogilvie gets it inside. Carter goes right around Carter. Reverse layup, no good. Tipped up and in by O'Mara. Kadee inside from Magnay, puts it down with two hands, plus the foul. Bruce getting in on the reach, and Magnay's going to go to the line for a three-point play opportunity.
I think for Brisbane, you'll see a feast of on-balls, making Ogilvie and O'Mara guard them, and so it'll be really interesting to see how they continue to deal with that.
Magnay's free throw is strong. 5-2 the lead here early for Brisbane. If you are tuning into the game on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook page, let us know who you are, where you're watching from, so we can get you a shout out. Already see a few Rocky fans in the chat room as Bruce puts up the floater off the front of the rim. Ogilvie, another rebound, put back is good.
I was going to say too, it'll be interesting to see how they handle Rocky's size and if they go to a zone in order to improve their rebounding coverage potentially and just get some guys home around the rim. Giving up 3 offensive rebounds in the first minute and a half. Not a good sign early.
Kadee too strong. Magnay offensive rebound. Putback is up, no good. O'Mara defensive rebound. Bruce steps up, fires a three. That's good. Sean Bruce.
Great signs early for Rocky fans to see Sean Bruce aggressive. He came off the on-ball, missed a runner, came straight back, knocked down the big three.
Kadee fires a three, and he hits as well. Playing beyond the arc so far here in the first. Anderson, second steal of the night. Hands off for Kadee. Long three.
Deep.
That's good as well. Kadee's on fire. He's feeling it early.
Yeah. And for the Caps, obviously, they loving the 3 balls from Kadee, but for Rockhampton,
backcourt violation as Ogilvie was in the backcourt there.
Yeah, they got to do a better job of running the likes of Kadee off the 3-point line. Brisbane, #1 in makes this season. Averaging just over 11 made threes a game, so Rockhampton's going to have to do a better job of running them off the line, especially finding him in transition.
Anderson gets a 3 to fall as well. It's raining from deep here for the Capitals. They're up 7. Roberto swings it to Bruce. Inside now, Ogilvie double team, skips it to Jimmy Mitchell in the corner. 3 is up and off. You can see it looks like the Caps are happy to let Jimmy Mitchell shoot from 3.
Well, I think that's going to be the strategy. The first few possessions, obviously Rocky, as we see Kadee with a heat check. Rocky with the 2 bigs and a mismatch here in transition as Magne tries to catch up.
Roberto, nice catch and lays it in.
I'll come back to that point soon, Johnny, talking about the 2 bigs for Rocky and how to guard him.
Kadee gets inside. He's fouled by Mitchell. Second team foul on Rockhampton.
Is that 2 on Mitchell? It is 2. Probably see Penny Nasalo pretty quickly injected into the game. Or they could get bigger and go with Nelson Carla.
Kadee again for 3 off the front of the rim, but he rolls home. That's someone who's got the home court advantage on that one.
Yeah.
Kadee nearly comes up with the steal. Very aggressive defensively, and as you said, Dave, Penny Nasalo going to have to check in for Jimmy Mitchell.
Well, the 5 of 5 shooting from downtown's pretty handy start to give him an early 8-point lead.
$17-9, about 3.5 minutes into this one. Bruce dumps it off. Omar, a little floater blocked by Magne.
That could easily have been a goaltending call, I think.
Yeah, I thought it looked like a goaltend too.
Magne led the QBL in blocks with 3.3 a game. Was also voted the Defensive Player of the Year in our Nothing But Net Media End of Season Awards. He gets free and powers it down with 2 hands. 10-point lead here for Brisbane.
Yeah, Rocky's got to do a better job of helping.
Here's Bruce losing it. Ogilvie can't recover. Kicks it out, and then there's a foul on the floor. I think they're going to get Zach Carter for that one on the ground.
Yeah,
we got Ernest Anderson tuning in from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Got to assume that's a relative of Aaron. I know Aaron's from Minnesota, so shout out Ernest, and be happy with the way that the Capitals have started this one. They're up 10 as Bruce fires a wing 3. That's good.
Woo! It's a shootout here at Auchenflower.
Pretty high scoring game so far as Magne goes right at Omar and misses.
Oh, great move.
Here comes Roberto in transition, kicks it and has his pass stolen by Kadee. It's a 3-on-2 for Brisbane. Kadee kicks it, Cobby Wilson steps into a 3, that's good. Looks like Coach Neil Tweedy wants a timeout. We're gonna take one as well. 5:20 to go in the quarter. It's a 10-point lead for the Caps over the Rockets in your QBO semifinal, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. 5:20 to go in the first quarter. High scoring affair, 22-12. I didn't bring my raincoat, but it's raining threes here so far.
Hold on, everyone. Hot starts are great, but it's a long game. But certainly that Brisbane will be super happy with their 22 points in the first 4.5 minutes.
Good little wrinkle from Brisbane out of the timeout. Trapp and Bruce. Ben Wilson in the game. Ogilvie hands off. O'Mara blocked again, but that time it definitely was goaltending on Will Magne. Kadee inside for Ben Wilson. Nice fake. And gets it the up and under to fall. Rocky definitely does not want to trade buckets with Brisbane. They need to get some stops. Bruce goes inside. O'Mara nearly lost it, recovers. Wilson, though, comes up with the steal, kicks ahead for Aaron Anderson. He's going to settle things for the Caps. Kadee swings it for Ben Wilson, going at Ogilvie. They reverse it to Aaron Anderson, who gets inside. Layup is good for Aaron Anderson. 12-point Caps lead.
Yeah, defensively, Rocky's got all kinds of gaps right now.
O'Mara, offensive rebound, has it stripped out of bounds by Aaron Anderson.
Great hands from Anderson.
Yeah.
It concerns me for Rockhampton how often they're getting the bigs caught on the Caps guards, and we saw there Brisbane are just patient, kept working it. Anderson had the mismatch, and he's just lightning quick going to the rim.
Yeah.
Impossible for the bigs to contain him. He's going to be laying it up all day.
Roberto misses. Kopskis, who just checks in, grabbed the rebound.
Well, you said great hands, Thunder, and you're absolutely right. Anderson lead the league in steals.
Dumps it off. Ben Wilson couldn't catch it.
Already got a couple in the first quarter.
Sure does.
Nelson Collar on the floor for the first time as well, posting up on Will Magnay. Backs down, goes to the right hand, loses the ball. Anderson comes up with another steal.
Yeah, Magnay's just been really impressive with his progression in many elements of his game at the QBL season, defensively, offensively. Great job of just holding his ground there and banging with Carla, and came up with a turnover.
Jason Kadee with another deep three. It's a 15-point Caps lead. Blocking foul there on Kopskis. It's going to be his first personal, the second team foul on the Capitals.
I think sometimes when you're playing at home, you can come out a bit tight, feel the pressure of the crowd, but Sammy Mack has got this team relaxed and ready to go. They put up 29 points in 7 minutes, fellas. Not even.
Yeah.
Here's Roberto dumping it off from Ogilvie. Has it stripped out of bounds by Wilson. It's going to stay with Rockhampton.
I like that look better. I don't think going at Magnay's matchup is the right move, but if they can go at Ben Wilson, the Zach Carters with the double big lineup, that's where Rocky need to play through, I think. In this case, it's Ogilvie with Ben Wilson on his back.
Collar missed the floater. Kadee gets inside, throws it up. Magnay puts it down with two hands.
Oh my God.
Plus the foul. Magnay, someone on the stream said it. Jay Walker on the stream said it. Magnay looks like Shaq out there.
I'm going out on a limb and saying that ain't never happened to Nelson Carla before.
Yeah.
God damn.
And again, I was just going to say, you've got to get Kadee early in transition, but because he's now so hot, he's just got to give you a little eye fake and he gets to the rim, gets feet in the paint, great alley-oop. Magnay does what he does best, smacks it down.
And he hits the free throw as well. Brisbane come out, thought they were going to pull the pressure on, but they pull it back. They're up 18. Bruce left open, fires a wing three. That's too strong. Magnay defensive rebound.
And it's always the risk too. Right now, you know, Bruce looks at the scoreboard and goes, hey, geez, we're down a lot. I need to get a good look.
Kadee fires the three, it's no good. Looks like they're going to get Bruce for the foul. He gets in the face of the referees. It is going to be a defensive foul on Bruce. He can't believe the call, but it was a good screen set there by Wilson.
Well handled by the referees in the semi-final. I'd like to think there's a little bit extra.
Little leeway. Kadee fires another three. That's off the back of the rim. Nisalo grabs the defensive rebound. See if that fires up Bruce. Working against Kopskis. He's going to bring it back out to half court. Wants a screen from Collar. He gets it. Skips it across court for Roberto. Roberto floater is good. Kadee leaves his feet. Bank shot no good. Collar rebound. He's going to have to bring it up court. Under pressure, he nearly lost it. Kadee comes up with the steal and goes out of bounds, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to move the ball into the front court. because there's 16 on the shot clock.
Well, I was about to say that. The officials discussing it now.
Yeah, or they might give him a turnover. I'm not sure what the right call is here, but
can someone ring Regan?
He's on the women's game.
I think it's almost a Brisbane ball.
And there's an 8-second violation.
Because I'm pretty sure once it hits 1-6,
it's done.
You're over.
Possession's over.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how Rocky can look and expect Nelson Carla just to bring the ball up. So they're a little bit frazzled at the moment. Quarter time cannot come soon enough for the Rockets.
Well, and again, Roberto and Nasalo go and handle the ball.
Absolutely.
Kadee working against Bruce. Skip pass. Wilson fires an open three.
That's a heck of a pass.
And drains it. Not an easy one to make cross court, one hand.
Well, it was made easier because it was badly defended. Just too much space from Nasalo on that weak side kick. Again, the Caps are so hot right now. You've got to defend that out a little bit and not help on home so much. Stay connected to your guy. Here comes Magnay again.
Again from Magnay. 37-18 the lead here for Caps. It's been all Brisbane with 1:10 left in the first quarter. O'Mara goes to the left hand, swatted by Magnay. He recovers it out to Roberto. Now Nasalo, top of the key three. That's good for Penny Nasalo.
Good answer from Nasalo. Better job here from Bruce now defending Kadee.
Ball gets tipped out of bounds.
Well, 2 of the last 3 possessions been good defensively for Rockhampton, and they'll certainly need a whole lot more of that to get back in the game. Great energy from the Caps early here, boys.
There's O'Mara going right at the defense, misses. Collar tips it in.
O'Mara. It was almost an oh my.
I love it. O'Mara's laughing at it now. I think he wanted a foul, but I love it. O'Mara going hard at the rim, trying to do what he should do.
Yeah.
And Magnay trying to contest it. It's awesome from both players.
Having a few issues with my scoreboard here at the moment. It's 37-23. Caps up by 14. It's about a 4-second differential between the game and the shot clock. Kadee gets inside. Bank shot no good. O'Mara grabs the board. Rockhampton can have the final shot of the quarter. Bruce inside
Much
for
better
Collar.
look.
Left-handed layup is good. And that's going to end the first quarter of action. Rockhampton down by 12, 37-25. We're going to take a break. We'll try and get our scoreboard settled down here, and then we'll come back with the second quarter of action. But Brisbane up 12, 37-25 after the end of the first quarter of your QBL semifinal, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Welcome back. That is not the correct score. Correct score is 37-25. as Rockhampton made a nice little comeback there towards the end of the first quarter to get it within 12.
It was a great comeback, and I mean, they were down 20 points halfway through that quarter. Brisbane came out on fire, but to get it back to 12, if they can get it back to 7 or 8 by the half, get it back to 4 or 5 by three-quarter time, they'll be really happy with where they're at. But you can't let the two studs from Brisbane get off. Jason Kadee with 4 threes and Will Magnay with 4 dunks. You got to slow those two guys down.
O'Mara working against Magnay is fouled by Kadee.
And already a really good set, just like you said, Dan. Just slow it up. Really be patient here. I think if you can try and frustrate the Caps guards into digging, hacking, you're going to pick up some free throws, which will help the Rockets later in the game.
Well, you got to keep going at Will Magnay. If he blocks it, he blocks it. He's a very good player. It's going to happen. But in saying that, if you've got the two bigs, which they'll have the whole game, with the rotation they've got, you got to go at Zach Carter, whoever he's guarding, or if Wilson comes in that backup big spot, go at him. That forces, as we saw in the first quarter, Brisbane to double, and then it's up to the Rockhampton perimeter guys to knock down open threes, and if they can do that, they're a chance.
Yeah, only 5 assists for the Rockets, so they haven't done a good job in that first quarter. However, for the Capitals, 12 assists on 14 buckets is excellent basketball.
With only 1 turnover too, Dave, so they're really doing what they want at the moment. Rocky's got to try and force the issues. Great move from Anderson. Magnay just couldn't quite get it to fall.
Yeah, good contest
could have used his
there
left
from
hand
O'Mara.
there.
Now Collar gets good position and banks one home. Rockhampton seems to have settled down. They've cut their deficit to 8.
Well, that's the matchup they've got to go at. Zach Carter in the post is going to struggle with these bigs, whereas Magnay is too big, too strong down there so far on both ends of the floor.
Magnay getting to the rim is fouled. That one's going to go against O'Mara. That's his first personal, Rockhampton's first of the quarter. And Magnay will go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
I like a little bit of Nelson Carla, ex-Capital teammate here with pretty much the whole group, other than Kadee, I'd say, or Magnay. Magnay here last season?
To the Spartans last year.
Yeah, that's right.
And I reckon if you looked at a tape from last August at Southern Districts to August with the Caps, he's made significant improvement. So credit to him for doing the work, and obviously Sam Mack and the other coaches who've worked with him.
And the Bullets crew, no doubt, because he's had a year in there. And, to your point, Dan, he was never going left-handed ISO, top of the key a year ago, right? Putting the ball on the floor, another turnover.
Wilson, good hands.
That's their 8th turnover in 11 minutes.
Way too much, especially from your experienced vets like that.
Kadee.
And the switch, they got to stop switching, in my opinion. See if they can get the ball here into the mismatch they want, which they've got. Kadee gave him the sham goal almost, fellas.
Wilson in and out. Collar with the rebound. Bruce kicks it ahead. Nisalo can't handle it. It goes out of bounds.
Well, Rocky have worked so hard to get the score back to under double figures, 9 points, back-to-back turnovers from their vet, Sean Bruce. He'll understand the importance of that. I'm sure he'll clean it up. But I know we're only early in the second quarter, but those possessions hurt.
Caps up by 9, 38-29. Kadee working against Sean Bruce. Now Magnay looking to go right at O'Mara, backs him down.
I like the single coverage too. Well defended.
Gets his own rebound and puts it in.
Well, it was really well defended and then horribly rebounded.
It was, yeah.
By no one.
And I think the Rocky guards have to understand that their big guys have their hands full with Will Magnay, so they've got to get in there and help rebound too.
Oh, great move.
Great move by Collar, finishes with the left hand.
Brisbane's going to have to double and help Zach Carter. Zach Carter's great offensively, spaces the floor, but defensively he's going to struggle. They've got to send a double team down there quick.
Kadee comes off the Carter screen, isolated on Collar, step back 3 off the back of the rim. Bruce with the rebound.
Well, after a really hot start, by my math, Kadee's missed his last 5.
O'Mara
and they're all contested shots too, Dave. That's the concern.
Anderson gets called for the foul on a cutting Roboto.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Dan. They've done a better job of getting a good hand on him in particular. Timeout on the floor.
Good timeout from Sammy Mack. Got a 9-point game here, fellas.
Timeout on the floor from the Capitals. We'll take one as well. 9-point lead for Brisbane over Rockhampton in your QBL semifinal, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. 40-31 the score here. Rockhampton has settled down and got themselves into a pretty nice rhythm. They seem to be happy letting Brisbane shoot the 3 ball.
Well, they were. I think earlier they copped a good punch in the mouth, but they're sort of getting into the flow of the game a bit better. And I think Rocky offensively, this is the pace that they really need to play at.
Roboto jumper is good.
Got Zach's parents listening over from Vegas. Johnny, Fiona, and big game James.
Got a few people watching over in the States. Good to see. Everyone supporting their family, which is nice also, as Volkman loses the ball.
Ogilvy was fairly well rested in that first quarter with the good hands on the steal.
Ogilvy inside, collar, tough catch and finish. And here comes Rockhampton. They're down by 5.
Really good signs for Rocky, guys. They've established the inside play, which is where they want to go, I'm sure. Roboto's hit a couple of mid-range shots. Sean Bruce obviously does what he does. They're starting to get into rhythm, and after giving up 30 points in 6.5 minutes, they're only down 5.
Well, and remember too, for the Rockets, Jimmy Mitchell.
That's 5 dunks, man.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
Jimmy Mitchell was checked out about the 3-minute mark with these 2 fouls. So
it's a good look from Volkman to Magne for that 5th dunk. Ogilvy gets it at the free throw line, stops,
smart move.
pops, plus the foul. Ogilvy gets to the free throw line for an opportunity to complete a 3-point play.
Really interesting arm wrestle right now. Brisbane, amazing start. Shared the ball, made some shots, and now Rocky's slowed the tempo, much to their liking, and could be a 4-point game after they're up 20.
Nasalo checks in. Oh, it checks out. Jimmy Mitchell back on the floor with 2 personals. Ogilvy hits the free throw. 4-point game. Got about 4 minutes to go here. 5 minutes to go in this first half.
For me, and the Brisbane fans out there, I want to see Anderson be a little bit more aggressive, just like that. He is so tough to guard, and he's either going to get to the foul line, or absolutely create for someone else. Especially you can just put Kadee into the off-guard spot, let him roam around the 3-point line, look to shoot, but I just think Anderson's got to be a little bit more active and engaged offensively.
I agree with you. And I think when Kadee comes out and hits 4 threes in 4 minutes, it's easy, or Magne's throwing down dunks like we saw, it's easy for Anderson to step back a little bit. But if Rocky's going to continue to switch the on-ball all night, he's got to take that personally and attack that.
Yeah.
If he sees Ogilvy or Carl or anyone else in front of him, he's got to take full advantage like he did on that occasion.
And I mean, he's one of the hardest guys to stay in front of in our league. So
it's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't. Like Sean Bruce is a great defender,
Absolutely.
and he would struggle to stay in front of him. So if you're going to put it big on him, it's over.
Yeah.
So he's got to attack that all night, I agree. The more aggressive he is, the better for Brisbane.
Amara back in as Roboto throws one up and gets fouled, so he'll go to the free throw. Oh, no, they got an offensive foul called on O'Mara.
Wow.
And then he's going to get teched up because he didn't like the call. He had a word to say to referee Mark Mill.
These officials are very, very good and very experienced, and I'm not sure what he said up here. We can't tell.
Well,
I'm sure it was justified, but you don't want to see that in a final.
You'd like to hope.
Especially putting a big like that who's a very important player in foul trouble. So if he said something, he needs to be more disciplined than that, but it didn't seem like there was anything too wild said.
Well,
He just walked and kind of shook it off or brushed him off. You'd like to see that let go, but who knows? I'm sure. I think Mark's experienced enough to not call that unless it was justified.
Well, Collar had just checked out for Amara. He has to come back on, and Nelson's been pretty good for Rockhampton here, especially in the second quarter.
They waved off Roboto too.
They did, yeah.
Right. So offensive. Okay.
And you just got it back to a 6-point game.
Yeah.
You got offense, maybe bring it back to 3-4 points. You're on a roll, and then you get a momentum break like that on the road. Those are the possessions that in an hour and a half's time can come back to haunt you.
Here comes Kadee getting inside. Finger roll is good.
Really poorly defended as well.
Jimmy Mitchell gets free on the breakaway to lay it in.
Well, again, this is where, Mitchell's such a key player for them on both ends. The 2 fouls really hurt. But offensively, he's just so versatile. Really good playmaker. Makes good decisions. And again, you could switch Bruce a bit to more of the two guard to free up his shooting.
Well, I think Rocky did really well to be in this position they're in without Jimmy Mitchell because of that foul trouble. And like we said pre-game, he's very experienced, very good as Volkman with the fadeaway. Like Jimmy Mitchell's going to have a role to play in this ball game come the fourth quarter, so good to see him getting going here.
Flips one up, that's no good. Collar tips it out to Ben Wilson.
I love that Jimmy's got great energy because he's sat for the last 12 minutes. He's had 2 good drives to the hoop.
I love his mustache.
You know Jimmy's always full of energy no matter how long he's out there on the floor. As Kadee fires a deep one off the back of the rim. Ogilvie with the defensive rebound. Here's Bruce now. Bruce gets inside, flips one up. Oh, doesn't fall, but he's fouled, and he's going to go to the line for a couple shots.
And I think if Rocky keeps switching and they get Kadee shooting long contested threes, they're going to keep switching.
Yeah.
I feel like he's letting him off the hook a little bit by taking that shot.
But both groups in the bonus now, too, for the last 4 minutes.
Zach Carter checks back in for Ben Volkman. And Bruce at the free throw line for 2 shots with his team down 7. Bruce rattles the first one. Second one good as well for Sean Bruce. It's a 5-point game, 4:10 to go in the first half. Carter finds Anderson. Anderson gets a screen from Wilson. Goes right at Wilson, Jimmy Mitchell. And then Jimmy Mitchell fouled by Ben Wilson on the defensive rebound. That's the 5th team foul.
Well, you want to see him aggressive on the glass, but you've got to be smarter than that because now we send Rocky all the way to the other end of the floor for 2 shots to cut this lead to 3.
And they get a little sneaky timeout. The veteran Rocky crew gets a little sneaky 1 minute break here at the foul line. And again, something those veterans can benefit from.
So Jimmy Mitchell at the charity stripe for 2. Hits the first one. It's only a few years ago Jimmy Mitchell was here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower with the Cairns Marlins lifting up the QBL Championship trophy.
Yeah.
He hits the second one.
He played very well in that game too. Hit some massive threes. So I'm sure he's got good memories and feels very comfortable on this floor.
Anderson with it, working against Mitchell now. Reverses it to Zach Carter. Carter will step into a wing 3. And rolls home for the captain. It's a big bucket there for Brisbane.
That is a
lead to 5.
Real big bucket. Real big bucket from Carter. And, he's just got to keep them honest too because apparently, I didn't see the game, but I think he had 5 threes against Rocky and was a key player in their win up there.
Nelson Collar with the soft hands. Gets the hook shot to fall. 50-46, Brisbane up by 4. Kadee wants a screen from Magne.
Well, Sammy Mack called the horn, so we should see the double pick at the top with both bigs. Just let Kadee play out of that.
Jimmy Mitchell with the good defense, knocking the ball out of bounds. Off of Kadee's hands. Or off of Jimmy Mitchell, I should say, out of Kadee's hands. Kadee gets the screen from Magne, reverses it. Carter puts the ball on the floor, nearly lost it, recovers. Aaron Anderson from the corner 3 is up and down. Beating the buzzer is Aaron Anderson. Brisbane back out by 7 now.
Well, it was a risky play. Ogilvie went for the steal, as did Roberto. They both missed and left a lights-out shooter in the corner.
Nelson Collar kicks it. Jimmy Mitchell open from the wing, fires the 3 off the front of the rim. Ben Wilson with the rebound, hands off for Aaron Anderson, who puts the Jets on. Gets in the paint, kicks it out. Carter's open, fires the 3. Strong. Magne offensive rebound, then fouled on his way back up by A.J. Ogilvie.
That's almost perfect offense, I reckon. If you went down and asked Sam McKenna what he wants to see, Anderson attacking in transition, feet in the paint, defense collapses, kicks it out to a good shooter. Zach Carter couldn't knock it down. You got Magne crashing the glass. That's almost textbook Capitals basketball, I reckon.
It is, and I think Brisbane, Rocky had really nice control of that quarter. this quarter so far, but the last couple of minutes, Brisbane's done a really good job of just getting that momentum back, building a lead a little bit, but not just the lead's kind of irrelevant. Just I like this, how their body language and how they're communicating, and I just think offensively, as Dan said, good looks the last couple of possessions.
Brisbane needs to kind of, I think they have to look at those bigs again and how they're looking to defend the bigs. Nelson Collard has really been going off, and he's stepped up because Amara's in a bit of foul trouble. Ogilvy's been quite quiet, but I think that's part of Rockhampton's plan to play through the other bigs, it seems like, almost.
Yeah, and you know, Dan talked about that earlier in the call around the Magnay-Ogilvy matchup kind of negates itself, and then the other spot is Carter, where offensively he's better, and then offensively whoever he guards is better. So just a nice little chess match right now. And you know, Kadee, I think I'm just trying to look at the live stats, but I think he's one of 9 after his hot start. So he's cooled off, and equally Rocky's done a better job of finding him and getting a hand up.
Yeah, they're gonna want to try and get Jason Kadee back involved in the game here. He really was the key to that hot start for Brisbane. First one from Magnay's good.
Shot's looking a whole lot better too, Dan, for a big guy, right?
Sure is. And that's a part of his game he's going to have to build out. I think if you're any position in basketball these days, even if you're a 6'10" athletic big, you've got to be able to keep the defense spread and knock down the jump shot, which he's showing signs of being very capable of doing.
Bruce gets it to Roberto. Roberto, another teardrop, that's off.
And an ugly possession for Rocky out of a timeout too, as this lead looks to go back into double figures for Brisbane if they can score here.
Kobe Wilson now under 2 to go. Gets it to Magnay. Magnay goes to the left, shoots with the right, and blocked by Collar.
If he comes back to that's 2 possessions. If he comes back to a left hook, he's going to be almost impossible to guard in the block, but loves his right, and Carla defends it well.
Too strong on the left-handed layup. Here comes Rockhampton. Roberto goes right at the defense and lays it in.
Yeah, again, that last one from Wilson, he was looking out for Carla, who does a really good job of protecting the rim. Challenging without fouling.
Kadee reverses it to Carter. Now Kadee with 8 on the shot clock. Once ahead of steam, steps into a 3. It's up and good for Jason Kadee.
Oh, they left Ogilvy on an island, which is just, you know, the Rockies got to be better at communicating that. I agree with Dan. We've talked about the switching all night long.
Ogilvy double team, lost it. Here's Anderson with it now. Goes right past Bruce. Dumps it off for Kobe Wilson. Layup no good. And Roberto comes down, who kicks ahead for Bruce. Bruce throws it up, swatted by Magnay. Looked like it was a pass. Magnay just spiked it.
It was ugly into the quarter for Rockhampton.
It was a bad pass.
And I think Sammy Mack in that timeout made the adjustment. They doubled Zach Carter's man as Anderson can't quite get it to go. So they're making great adjustments. Coach Tweedy's got to come back with the same in the second half.
Bruce now has it. There's about a 5-second differential between the game and the shot clock.
Great job from Kadee helping on that last Ogilvy move. Came up with the turnover.
Exactly. Well, he had Zach Carter on his back, knowing he needs help. Went down and forced the turnover.
Roberto for 3. That's good. Big bucket there for Rockhampton. Let's see if Brisbane can get a bucket before the end of the half. Anderson splits the D, pump fake, fires and blocked by Roberto. And that's going to end the quarter. And an excellent end to the quarter there, or the half, I should say, for Rockhampton.
Excellent end. To Dan's point, a really funky last 4 minutes, but a terrific last 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
For Rocky.
Yeah, awesome last couple of possessions. And, I mean, we were sitting here 15 minutes ago going, damn, fellas, this game might be over. Like, Brisbane came out and put points on the board in a hurry. We're going to the half. High scoring, it's fun to watch, and it's a 7-point game. We've got a great second half coming up.
Been a great first half of action. 58-51 the lead for the Caps at the big break. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with some statistics and the second half of action. Here's the Brisbane Capitals lead the Rockhampton Rockets 58-51. The QBL semifinal presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Welcome back to NAB Stadium here in Auchenflower. It is the Brisbane Capitals up on the Rockhampton Rockets, 58-51. Really good first half of action. Brisbane got out to that amazing start. Rockhampton looked like they may have been on the bus back to Rockhampton, maybe. They really got themselves together. It's a 7-point game at halftime. If you're a Rockhampton and a Rockets fan, you got to be happy with where things are at after that start.
Little slow start, but we did say stay calm, and great second quarter from the Rockets, and it was built on 9 of 12 from the floor. Went to the line 7 times, which they didn't go in the first quarter, and made 7 out of 7. Turnovers cleaned up a smidge, still far too many, but the Capitals, they cooled off a little bit, went 6 of 20 from the floor, but 2 turnovers for the game is where the Capitals have been terrific, looked after the ball, and that's really why they have the lead. They're out-rebounded by 12 at the moment. So, Rockhampton, number 1 in the league in points in the paint. I think they average 51 a game, so this is what the Caps have got to clean up in this third quarter, keep them out of the paint, work on their rebounding, and I think that'll really help the Capitals continue to build this lead.
Rockhampton, though, Dan, you thought that their comeback was pretty good. You were calling for a little more action away from A.J. Ogilvy. What was it that you saw out there that thought they needed to go to the other bigs in Collar and O'Mara?
It's not so much away from A.J. Ogilvy. I think he's been one of the best bigs in Australia at the NBL level, let alone QBL level, for a decade. So the more they play through him, the better in this second half. But I just felt that Will Magnay obviously is a really good defensive player. And AJ against Will Magnay is more than capable, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like, with all respect to the Carters listening from overseas, if Zach Carter's trying to defend one of the other bigs, whether it's Nelson Carla or whoever else comes in, if Ben Wilson comes in and he's defending, I think that's a much better matchup for Rockhampton, and that forces Brisbane to maybe collapse and double team a little bit, which means the bigs get better looks. AJ can go rebound, but it also means that the likes of Jimmy Mitchell and Penny and Sean Bruce and Roberto, who we saw catch heat in the second quarter, they're going to get better open looks. So I felt like part of that comeback was Jimmy Mitchell coming back into the game and being on the floor, just his presence. Sean Bruce's experience in terms of slowing things down, but I also felt like they were much more, whatever the word is, methodical.
Patient.
They were patient,
yeah.
They were methodical, and they decided where they wanted to get the looks, and they went into Carla on Zach Carter. They went into AJ at times, but I just felt that they attacked the offense the way they wanted to much better. But I'm still concerned for Rockhampton switching their on-ball defense. I feel like if they continue to do that and they put Aaron Anderson and Jason Kadee coming to the head of steam downhill at the bigs, that's going to be a problem. So I hope they clean that up. Otherwise, I feel like Rockhampton's going to be really happy with how they got back into this game. And let's say hello to the QBL official of the decade, Tony Cole, on the Sunny Coast, listening in. Hi, Tony.
Tony wants to get in on the calls, Dan. She's looking for your seat,
she wants
actually.
my headset.
Hang on. Is she saying she wants Regan's headset? I mean, is that what she's saying?
Don't know. She could be our nothing but net media referee when we don't have Regan, that's for sure. Good stop there for Rockhampton.
Old Tony on the whistle.
So Rockhampton gave Brisbane a few shots at it. Unfortunately for the Caps, they couldn't couldn't get the shot to fall. Now Rocky, Roberto's pass turned over.
Roberto's got to shoot that. He's that deep in the paint. He's got to put it on the rim and give his bigs a chance to go rebound.
So turnovers for each team to start the second half. Here comes Kobe Wilson fires the three. That's good.
He's been really good tonight, fellas.
He was excellent in the game again up in Rockhampton as well, and he's been a real key to this Brisbane team this season. They've had a super production from their bench.
Shooting the ball well, defensively very, very active, making life for Sean Bruce pretty difficult at the moment, giving Coach Sam McKinnon exactly what he'd be wanting, I reckon.
Yeah, he's had a really good season, and it wasn't just the 3-and-D, which is sort of what he's renowned for. His decision-making has been a lot better too offensively, so really good year for Kobe Wilson.
Good board there by Ben Wilson as Ogilvy missed the three. If you are tuning in on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, let us know who you are, where you're watching from, so we could get you a shout out. As Kadee gets inside, flips one up and in.
And the lead, just like that's back out to 12 points. So despite only being not even 2 minutes into the quarter, Rockhampton's got to be careful here that this doesn't blow back out.
O'Mara at the elbow extended. Working against Magnay, kicks it to Ogilvie. Ogilvie goes at Wilson, and Wilson draws the charge.
A lot of standing around for Rockhampton, which surprises me. I thought they'd come out of that halftime break with pretty good structure to their offense, but so far they've had a few bad positions in a row, and like we just said, down 12, Brisbane ball coming downhill at home. It's a dangerous part of the game.
Rocky just really look flat coming out of half-time.
They do.
They just, I don't know.
Which is surprising, isn't it?
It's weird. I mean, but they just look flat offensively. They've had a couple of nothing plays. Then another silly foul.
Goes against Jamal Robitel.
Yeah, big opportunity here for me, Brisbane, to really put it to them.
Brisbane's up by 12. Wilson finds Kadee. Wing three is up.
Great set.
And good.
That's a great set. Really good structure to Brisbane. But equally, that's awfully defended.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great set, but it's not, as Rockhampton come back with another turnover. So give Brisbane credit, but equally, that's really poor defense from Rockhampton.
Yeah.
There's a timeout taken by head coach Neil Tweedy. We're going to take one as well. 7:30 to go here in the third quarter. It's a 15-point lead for Brisbane over Rockhampton. Your QBL semifinal presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. Timeout taken by Rockhampton as the lead got pushed back out by Brisbane to 15. Couple of shout outs for the YouTube channel. John Barry watching Nelson from Rockhampton. And Justy says, hello NBN Media, hope Rocky can pull through. Rocky needs to right the ship here as there's another foul called on the floor.
And you can see Brisbane trying to, looks like a technical foul got called. I'll leave you to the call, John, to figure out what just happened.
I think it went against A.J. Ogilvie inside. That's his third personal. And I think Coach Tweedy may have gotten a tee. That was Ogilvie who got the technical. Okay. So that's the second technical foul against Rockhampton here this evening.
Really undisciplined from Rockhampton, and we're back out to a 16-point game just like that. It surprises me, Dave, to your point, they've come out really flat, complaining to the officials, getting teed up. I know we're still looking at plenty of basketball over the next 30 or 40 minutes, but they're in a really dangerous position as Brisbane regain their confidence and get back on a roll here. And Rockhampton are in a zone trying to mix up the defense, but that's dangerous against this hot-shooting Brisbane team.
Magnay from the baseline, jumper off. Tipped around, Ogilvie hands off for Bruce now. Ogilvie high-low action with O'Mara, who's double-teamed. Hook shot. Back. That's a good shot there from O'Mara.
They got to come back to that inside play. That's how they got back in the game in the first half, and they got to just lock in on D and get back into that inside post presence.
Kadee open, that's short though. Jimmy Mitchell with the defensive rebound. Hands off for Bruce. Bruce is going to pull up for three. Off the front of the rim, Magnay grabs a defensive rebound. It's a very high zone. It's a 1-3-1 as Anderson fires a three off the front of the rim. Tipped out of bounds by Magnay. It's going to be Rockhampton ball. So the zone is slowing things down a bit here for Brisbane. Mitchell on the wing. Skips it over to Bruce.
I think on the technical foul, I think he was upset about a Magnay elbow, and I think he gave one back, and then he gave Matty Crowley a bit of a serve.
Crovey Wilson hits another three from the corner this time. Brisbane's up by 17. And the Wilson brothers are really out-energying the Rockhampton guards, aren't they?
If that's a word, we'll take it.
I'm making stuff up,
but you're right.
Ogilvie fouled inside, so he's going to go to the line for a couple shots.
He'd love that one back to get an M1. But Brisbane doing a really conscious effort to get the ball out of Sean Bruce's hands, it looks like.
They gave Magnay a flop warning on that one as well.
And to your point, Dan, only 5 shots for Sean Bruce, 25 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and I reckon 4 of them have been quick threes in transition, of which he made one, but the others have been rushed and not good looks.
And if we think about it, he had the runner at about the minute mark, then made the 3 the next possession.
He's had
3 shots in 23 minutes.
That's right. And maybe he's trying to get others involved, and that's smart point guard play, but at some stage, when you're as experienced as he is, you look up, you're down 16 points in a semi-final on the road, you've got to try and take over, but easier said than done when his matchup is Aaron Anderson and Jason Kadee.
Well, Bruce took over last week in the big upset over Cairns. He had 35 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists.
Well, they need a lot more of that because he's certainly capable. He averaged 21 for the season, but they're going to need a massive 15 minutes from him if they're going to come back in this ball game.
And they have got to stop switching that. They just have to. It's as simple as that. And Ogilvie's worried about a call again, but should be telling Coach Tweedy to trap the on ball or give a different look. Can't switch it.
Roberto for 3, it's good, and there's a foul on the floor.
That kills you. That'll be 4 fouls too, I think. Oh, he's got to be careful here.
He nearly made contact with the referee. That's the second time that they've hit a 3-point shot and a foul called off the ball on O'Mara in the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again before I comment. I saw the play well. I just didn't see how much contact there was, and obviously the referees thought there was a bit too much.
Nice dish from Kadee. Wilson can't finish. Bruce has it. Good transition from the Caps. Roberto fires a wing 3 off the back of the rim.
Oh,
tipped up by O'Mara.
Good battle on the glass with the bigs.
Kadee recovers. Out to Anderson, who throws it up for Magnay. It's tipped by Roberto. Anderson recovers. Floater no good. Magnay offensive rebound. Putback no good. Ogilvie recovers. 72-54. Brisbane up by 18. 4:20 to go in the third quarter. Here's Bruce jumper off the back of the rim. Tipped around. Kadee grabs it.
Well, to say it's been a rough third quarter for the Rockets is an understatement. Only 3 points.
Then Wilson inside for Magnay again with 2 hands.
Is that it? What's the Magnay dunk counter? Is that about 6 maybe?
6. How is he getting so wide open on the baseline?
Well, I'm not smart enough to know the answer to that, but I would guess it's from too much penetration from the guards. The Rocky bigs are helping, and he's wide open. So Rockhampton have to keep themselves in front of the ball, not let themselves get beat off the dribble, which means Ogilvie and the other bigs from Rockhampton are rotating to help, and Magnay's naked. But at some point, you can't let a dude dunk on you 6 times.
Yeah.
So Rockhampton have serious defensive issues, which they need to fix in a hurry.
Bruce hits a 3. Maybe that'll get Sean Bruce going. His team's down by 17.
Well, they've gone back to this zone again.
Kadee from the top of the key. He answers with a 3 as well.
A zone against a hot 3-point shooting team is probably not the most advisable option. I'd love to see them, with Brisbane running a steady diet of on-balls, maybe trap an on-ball, get the ball out of Kadee's hands, get the ball out of Anderson's hands,
Bruce
make them rotate it. The zone's not going to get it done.
He's got back-to-back threes. Kadee gets inside. High shot, no good. Collar with the rebound.
See if Bruce
he'll pull up here.
check here.
Finds Roberto, wing three. That's off the side of the rim.
Well, that would have been really handy for the Rocky crew.
Would have been. They got a pretty good look at it too, but just couldn't quite get it done.
Magnate crosses over, looks inside. Kopskas kicks it. Wilson corner three off the back of the rim. Ogilvie kicks ahead for Roberto. Nice crossover. He's going to bring it back out. And Rockhampton will reset with Sean Bruce. 2:30 left in the third. Brisbane up 17. Nasalo nearly lost it. Volkman recovers to Kopskas. And then Roberto gets called for the foul. That's the 15th foul. It's going to send Anthony Kopskas to the free throw line for a couple shots.
I think Cobby Wilson got hit on a Ogilvie screen and he's clutching at his right shoulder.
Got to give a shout out to Tara Roberts on the YouTube channel. She says, "Go Caps and the Wilson boys from Townsville." And then Jessica Thompson says, "Let's go, fellas, turn it up, Brucey." I think Jessica might be going for Rocky in this one.
Well, the whole of Rocky's hoping he turns it up because they're down 17. Got a bit of a task ahead of them here in the next 12 minutes of the game.
Thanks for keeping me on my toes, Elijah. I added the scores to the wrong team. 78-60 is the right score. Kopskas hits one to make it 79-60. 2:10 left in the third quarter. Brisbane in control. Bruce is fouled. Gonna give that one against Kopskas. Blocking foul, third team foul on Brisbane, second personal on Kopskas.
Well, as we suggested, they've just had a steady diet of Anderson, Kadee, Wilson, Kopskas all over Bruce and guarding him 94 feet the whole night. And that just is gonna, that's gonna grind you down a little bit and fatigue you when it matters.
Bruce from the top of the key fires the three. That's good. He's
three in a row.
definitely heating up.
We said a few minutes ago that he's only taken 5 shots and he's got a sense his team needs his offense, and he's certainly done that here.
Nearly turned over. Kadee finds Carter open in the corner. Fires a three. Volkman, though, finishes off the catch.
I was just going to say, Roberto did a really good job of closing out with a high hand.
He did.
And then Ogilvie went and let him down.
Yeah.
And didn't box out Magnay.
Here's Roberto. Now Collar at the elbow. Hands off for Jamal Roberto. There's a blocking foul called.
That's pretty good defense in a physical final, but you can see Coach Sammy Mack just saying, let it go. Move on to the next possession.
Fourth team foul, second against Carter. Here's Nasalo looking inside for Ogilvie. Double teamed inside pass for Collar to lay it in.
Rocky look really good when they just slow it down and use their bigs, but they've got a big task here. Offense, I think they can get it going, but they've got to show that they can defend this Capitals team that are on a roll.
Yeah, Nasalo's given them good minutes, two deflections in the last couple of possessions, and they need more of that. They've really just got to, they held them to 21, which is not a bad quarter, but not when you need to win the quarter.
That's right.
Foul from behind on Jason Kadee, called against Sean Bruce for the reach-in. Rocky's in the penalty, so Kadee will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
And it's interesting, it's on the verge of blowing out a little bit here if you're Rockhampton, and since getting 2 very early fouls, I don't think James Mitchell's picked up any others, so he's not really in foul trouble. I think at this stage in the game, you're down big double figures on the road. You've almost got to roll with your vets, and I'd be looking to bring Jimmy Mitchell back in to finish the quarter, see if he can get you a stop or 2. Maybe knock down a 3, get himself going, because Rockhampton, I think, need a bit of a punch leading into the 3-quarter time break.
2 free throws for Kadee, pushes the lead out to 18.
Yeah, only 13 minutes for the captain. 4 points, 4 rebounds.
Collar offensive rebound, putback's good. Nelson Collar's been very good for Rockhampton
He has been
tonight.
really solid.
Yeah, 16 and 5 for Carla off the bench. in 16 minutes, so he's been super productive.
Kadee for a deep three off the front of the rim. Ogilvie grabs the defensive rebound, and he busts out dribbling. Kicks ahead for Nasalo. He wants it back. Now Bruce has it with 10 on the shot clock. Bruce has to get to work.
He wants
4
an
on the
on-ball
shot
or something
clock.
here, doesn't he?
Step back three is up. Off the back of the rim, no good. Nasalo offensive rebound, kicks it out to Robitel along the baseline. Jumper no good, but he's fouled.
Oh, very lucky to get that call, but why wouldn't Rockhampton run into an on-ball for Sean Bruce there? Just leave him out, playing ISO ball on
especially
a very good defender.
Especially when I've got my main man, AJ Ogilvie and Nelson Carr, two big dudes that I'm going to rub off something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't know, maybe he just liked the ISO. He did hit 3 in a row from downtown, so maybe he was just feeling it.
Robitel hits the first one.
Robido's 14th point. I think, like we've talked about, though, boys, you know, Robideau and Bruce, they really just need to ignite the offense here. Amara, 8 points, 7 rebounds. Ogilvie, 6 points, 11 rebounds.
Anderson lost it out of bounds. That's going to be the end of the quarter.
Clearly there's a bit of time.
Something back on. Yeah.
Let's see if they put anything on. It might be maybe a 0.1 or 0.2 or something. Let's see.
No, I thought maybe more than that, but
this is always good fun when they spend 5 minutes to put on 1 second for it to be a nothing possession. But
yeah. Could be a 3-point shot though, too, Thunder, you know?
Well, I reckon get Will Magnay back in and run a back pick and get a lob at the rim.
Yeah.
They've got 5 seconds on the clock at the moment. I think that's going to come down.
Yeah, it's coming down to
1.9.
Yeah, I was going to say there's almost 2, I was going to say 1 to 2, I think would have been what I would have thought.
That seems like a lot of time.
Rollers up 7 over Townsville.
46-39 with about 3:40 to go in the third quarter down on the Gold Coast. Townsville Heat looking to make it a three-peat.
Josh Wiltshire, 1 of 11. Interesting.
Oh, they're dropping it down to 0.7. So we'll call it 1 second. Half a second.
I'm with you though, Thunder. I'm surprising. Don't see a Magnay backdoor lob as a nice option, and Anderson coming off a baseline 3 as plan B.
Kopskas inbounds. Anderson fires a deep one at Banks, and that will be the end of the quarter. And at the break, it's 83-69. Brisbane up on Rockhampton. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the final quarter of action here. The QBL semifinal presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. It's 83-69 heading into the final quarter of action. Dave, let's take a look at some of those statistics.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that late there, and Anderson, 12 points, 4 assists. Jacob Wilson, 12, 29 for Kadee, 18 for Magnay, Carter 6. And the other guys have chimed in with a couple of 2-pointers here and there. So Capitals, getting production out of who they think they should, which is terrific for them. For the Rockets, Mitchell with 4, Bruce with 17, Roberto 15, Carla 16, O'Mara 8, and Peninasalo with 3.
Well, this is it. 10 minutes to go.
AJ Ogilvy's been a 19 and 12 guy all year, and he's on 6 points. So they need a big quarter from him to get them back in this contest.
Roberto with the left hand, can't get it to fall. Ogilvy offensive rebound, tipped out by Magne, goes out of bounds.
Yeah, good take and good patience from Rocky. But what will be really interesting to see how they handle the pace in this first 5 minutes in particular. If they're going to try and force it and make it a bit more of a track meet, or just be methodical and trust their defense.
Bruce is going to fire a 3 off the back of the rim, tipped around by Collar. Magne recovers. Nick Stoddart out on the floor for Brisbane. First time we're seeing Stoddart tonight. He's also been a nice bench weapon for Brisbane this season.
Yeah, he's been a great super sub for them as well, absolutely.
Anderson hesitated, lost it, had a block by Ogilvy. Now Stoddart with 5 on the shot clock, working against Collar, gets inside, throws up the floater. It's no good.
Anderson does such a great job on the ball, defending the ball and just being a general pest.
Nice finish there from Sean Bruce with the right hand. It's a 12-point lead for Brisbane now.
Sean Bruce is looking very comfortable the last 5 or 6 minutes too, fellas. Shooting the ball really well, staying aggressive. Good signs for Rocky.
Kadee for 3, he's fouled.
I'd like to see that again. I think that's a questionable call.
Well, it's on Nelson Collar. It's his 3rd personal. It's the first team foul.
I get the land, let him land, and I equally referees can get suckered into the leg kick. I'd like to see it again before I 100% decide, but naked eye thought it was reasonably well defended. What do you reckon, Johnny?
I missed it. I tried to get it on the replay for you on the screen here, but it didn't work.
Well, if it was the right call, I'd have to see it again as well. But right or wrong, he's knocking down 3 points, and that hurts Rockhampton.
Yeah.
15-point lead now for the Capitals. Rocky hands off for Bruce.
And they just can't trade buckets. For me, in order for the Rockets to give it a nudge, they need to hold them to 15 for me.
Well, the Caps are on track for 110 points, and no matter what Rocky does offensively, as Magne's playing volleyball out there, if you had said before the game the Caps are putting up 110 points, all 3 of us would have backed them to win the ball game.
Yeah.
Offense has been far too good.
That foul's called on Aaron Anderson. It's going to send Jamal Roberto to the free throw line for 2 shots.
And, it's a really good point, Dan. Averaged 100 this year, number 1 in the league. Rockets have averaged 97. So, I think, as you say, the higher the score, it certainly suits the Capitals' style of play.
And I think when you're on the road, you've got to try and take the crowd out of it, stop the home team getting their confidence up. So it's easier said than done, but I'm sure if Coach Tweedy had his time again, he would have gone back and put in some different defensive rules and options leading into this game, because they've given up far too many points so far. But the good thing about sports, they've got 8 minutes to right their wrongs and get this back on track.
86-72, let's go Brisbane.
How's Trigger too, standing behind the Rocky bench all game, the Rockhampton GM. Retired, not coaching, but fully invested in the ball game.
Anderson has to make something happen. Flips one up, it's short.
Nice defensive set there for the Rockets. They need a whole lot more of that. Still no Jimmy Mitchell. Interesting.
I'm really surprised at that. Like, unless he's injured or concussed.
Ball goes out of bounds off of Brisbane.
Or got the flu or something else obscure. I'm shocked that he's not back in. And he might not score 25 points, but he's not really a box score player. It's all the small things that he does.
Miscommunication.
They need him out there.
Here comes Anderson steaming to the basket to lay it up and in.
And I think too they need his penetration and just that decision making of him in the.
Bruce gets called for the offensive foul. Had the left hand out, extended
Especially,
to the chest
Dave,
of Jason Kadee.
Especially while the Rockhampton offense is looking so bad lately.
Well, Ben Wright and O'Mara check in. Not sure if there's a Jimmy Mitchell injury that we don't know about, but
doesn't look like it. He's first up off the bench, high-fiving his teammates.
Yeah.
So he looks fine, but something must be going on.
Anderson resetting against Ogilvy. He's got 3 defenders shaded towards him. Stoddard will fire from the wing off the front of the rim. O'Mara grabs the defensive rebound.
Wow, that's a quick
Roberto from
shot.
deep. No good, tipped out of bounds.
That's a terrible shot. I'm so sorry. You're down 16, but you don't need to take 2-second threes from the car park in transition.
That are well contested.
That's not going to help you.
There's a timeout taken on the floor, so we're going to take one as well. 6:50 left in this one. Brisbane's up 88-72. Your QBL semifinal presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. Timeout taken by the Brisbane Capitals. They're up by 16, 88-72. 6:52 left in this game. Rocky still kind of hanging around a little bit, but you got to think, fellas, if it's going to come back, it needs to happen sooner rather than later.
It sure does, Johnny, and sitting in a zone, giving Jason Kadee wide open threes.
Yeah.
Ain't going to get it done.
Well,
this game's over. Rockhampton's energy is really bad, and I don't know why Jimmy Mitchell stays on the bench, fellas.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same. They came out of a timeout, didn't throw a little 3-2 trap in, didn't double team the first and second
pass. Zone and gave the league MVP a wide open look. Doesn't make sense.
In the easiest 3-point shot on the court, on the floor.
Bruce open for 3, fires and gets it to fall. He's been good in this fourth quarter.
He's been great, and we said halfway through the second or close to half time that he hadn't taken enough shots, and he certainly made amends, but as a team, they're just not defending at all well enough as Magnay earns 2 foul shots here.
Well, you can't let him just get a catch.
Well, it's always funny. They come down and go one pass post entrance
right
to their big fella who's been killing you all game. If that had have come off 3 or 4 rotations and they've reversed the ball and you get a look at the elbow, that's okay. But one pass entrance on the possession after a one pass wide open 3 to their other NBL stud. I don't think Rockhampton's energy is really buying into.
No, for me,
Rocky
just hasn't done enough to disrupt the Capitals' defense, and
looking inside. They get another offensive foul called
that's
on Sean O'Mara.
Good night, O'Mara.
His 5th, he's done. It's also the 15th foul against Rockhampton. in the quarter. So O'Mara has been a huge part of this Rockhampton team all season. He's been one of the better imports in the competition, but Rockhampton will not have him for the rest of this evening. They're down 17.
Well, he has been, Johnny, but
Magnay missed the dunk. Ben Wilson follows.
Oh. Another quick tech on the bench. Gee, that's a quick tech. I think that the Rockhampton coaches were complaining that Ben Wilson can't let up whilst Magnay's hanging on the rim, and that's a legitimate complaint.
Yeah.
So they both jumped up, and very quick tech came their way.
That's the third technical against Rockhampton in this game. Kadee hits the free throw.
I was going to say, Johnny, you know, O'Mara, he has been terrific this season. But, you know, when it matters is game times like this, and 8 points, 9 rebounds, and fouled out. They needed more from him tonight.
Especially while Ogilvy's giving you 6 points, so they're unbelievably talented.
What a block by Magnay.
He'll finish with the dunk hit. He's looking for another dunk on the other end. Johnny's Anderson makes it rain in transition.
Big three for Aaron Anderson. Lead out to 23 here for Brisbane. Approaching 5 minutes to go in the game.
I was just saying, when you're starting front court, who are very, very good, import and NBL player contribute 14 points, it's always going to be a long night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing because they both had terrific seasons.
Very good players, I agree.
Bruce got called for the foul on Ben Wilson's screen.
And it's just frustration.com here for the Rockets. I think it's going to be messy, so they just got to be calm. I think it's almost getting close to being called with O'Mara fouled out, and just the body language that we're seeing from the Rockets and the silly fouls.
That was the fourth personal on Sean Bruce. With 5 minutes to go in this one. Wilson missed them both.
Again, Anderson just been terrific.
Great energy from Aaron Anderson. Kadee open for three, fires off the front of the rim. Nelson Collard defensive rebound. Here's Bruce now for Rockhampton.
And again, I think you know, someone coming into this game would have been giving Mitchell and Bruce the advantage defensively, but Kadee and Anderson, 4 steals each, and they've both been really good defensively.
They've been great, I agree.
Stoddart will step into a wide open three off the front of the rim. Wright fouled inside, it looks like. It's going to go against Ben Wilson. Second team foul, fourth personal on Wilson.
Start of the fourth on the Gold Coast, Johnny, and Gold Coast up 7. 8 minutes to go.
Low scoring one there. Not like here. It's a 19-point game. Brisbane 98-79 with 4 minutes to go in this one.
Well, it looks like the Rollers have done a job on Wilch.
Well, they were hanging tough too, Townsville, after a 24-9 second quarter. Gold Coast putting up the numbers, but they got a good finish coming up down there, as we have one here with Kadee wide open in the corner again, but couldn't quite get it to go.
Roberto gets out ahead of the pack. Layup is up and good, plus the foul.
Great finish.
Excellent finish there from Jamal Roberto, and he draws the foul on Will Magnay.
You know, you go and beat a guy like Anderson and then finish over Magnay. That's why Roberto's, you know, absolutely NBL quality. Hopefully he can get an opportunity to get on a team's roster, or at the very minimum a training camp, and see what he can do.
Come on, make some noise, Brisbane.
In the women's game, Johnny, 23 seconds left, Gold Coast up 1. And the Spartans are up 8 with 2 minutes to go.
Wow. Kadee has it. We're approaching the 3-minute mark. Magne gets fouled on his way to the basket. Nice touch pass there from Kobe Wilson.
Yeah, hopefully his shoulder's okay. He checked out after getting on that screen, but
that's the foul is called against Sean Bruce. It's his 5th personal. He's done for the night.
And Rockhampton's dreams of advancing could be done with him. And not to harp on the same point, but Jimmy Mitchell's still sitting. I'm sure there's something going on that we're not aware of that keeps him out. But
Trevor Corrigan going to see his first minutes of the night. Big fan favorite up in Rockhampton.
That pushes Nelson Carla to the 3. Rockhampton are huge.
Magne's at the free throw line for 2 shots, misses the first. Second one is good.
Well, we talked about Brisbane's depth in our first game, Johnny, and they're showing you that they have been, they're a really deep squad, but equally they've lived up to expectations, and up 17 points, looking like they're heading in to host the grand final series for the men.
It's been a few years since Brisbane's been in a grand final series. We won't count it just yet as Magne gets a breather. Or was that his 5th? I didn't see the card come up.
Bit shaken up on the call, so not taking any chances with him.
Right, finishes plus the foul.
I think it's on Wilson. Everyone looks confused. Ben Volkman looks confused. Wilson's confused. Must be on Volkman because Wilson's still in the game.
Brisbane in the penalty now as well. Nelson Collar going to go to the free throw line to look to complete the 3-point play. Collar hit the free throw, but it was referees checking with the score bench on something. I think they were checking to make sure that they counted the bucket, which they did.
I'm confused because I thought the foul was on Ben Wright's drive, but clearly not.
On the rebounding battle between Collar and Volkman.
Oh,
Collar short on both. 15-point game. It's not over yet, gents. It's going to be tough as there's a kick ball on the floor. 99-84. Brisbane up by 15. No Sean Bruce. No Sean O'Mara either for the Rockets, as both have fouled out of the game. Aaron Anderson has it, guarded by Collar. He fires a 3. It's off the front of the rim.
And Collar did a good job there, showing a hand. Didn't let Anderson have too much room to drive. So better possession when they come back with another turnover. So it's not over yet, Johnny, but we're getting pretty close to it being.
Anderson, short jumper is good. Wright has it, guarded by Kadee. Brings it back out for Robitou. Robitou, a little floater is off the back of the rim. Volkman defensive rebound. Kadee with it now for Brisbane. He can bring it down close to the 2-minute mark. Pass though, thrown out of bounds by Kadee. Stoddard, Kopska's going to check in for Ben and Kobe Wilson. The Wilson boys were terrific tonight for the Capitals. Really good energy. Jacob got the start and was the main defender on Sean Bruce in the early going.
Yeah, no, he did a really good job. And, unfortunately, Jake Davis hasn't seen a whole lot of action.
As Robitou hits a 3 plus the foul. Rocky's not going to go away here easy.
Yeah, no minutes for Jake Davis, and I think Tim Sung's getting a bit of love from the crowd, asking for him, asking Coach McKinnon to put him in.
No 4-point play for Robitou, missed the free throw.
Oh, and the boys are going to get their request answered.
Kopskas misses a three. It's tipped out of bounds off of Brisbane. And Tim Chung going to check in for the Capitals. He's going to see his first minutes of the game tonight. He's going to check in for Jason Kadee. Volkman takes the inbounds.
Gotta shoot that, Benny.
Now Kopskas nearly lost it, recovers. Out to Zach Carter from the wing. Three is short. Volkman offensive rebound and puts it in.
That's the second time Zach Carter's skillfully disguised an air ball as an assist to one of his beats.
Corrigan for three. Off the front of the rim. Nelson Collar offensive rebound. Three-pointers up and off. That's Richardson. Now Robitou shoots an air ball. And I think we can say that Brisbane will be advancing to the Grand Final Series. Pretty impressive performance here for the Capitals boys. From the very start, they started out absolutely confident and hot, and it hasn't really stopped since.
It's been an awesome display from them, and give the playing group credit as that's better from Zach Carter, doing what he does best. But Sam McKinnon as well, obviously in the Bullets coaching staff and as a player, unrivaled almost on his NBL career, but showing he's a very good coach too. What he's done this year for the Capitals as he gets Jack Davis into the game coming up here in a second. But the Capitals are going to be hard to beat at home, fellas. They're hungry.
Yeah.
18 years since they last won it. They're going to be chomping at the bit to get out there in a few days' time.
Kopskas from the corner fires a three. That's off. Carter tip, no good. Sung grabs the rebound. Looking at the score down on the Gold Coast, it looks like the Rollers are up ahead by 15, 65-50 on Townsville. So if the scores stay the same, it looks like it's going to be a Brisbane Capitals Gold Coast Rollers Grand Final Series.
The chip's coming back to the south.
We know it's going to be the Capitals, gents, in it. What do we think, though, of the Brisbane Capitals heading into the Grand Final Series?
Well, what about
Jacob Davis checks in for the first time?
Well, what about Townsville scoring 50 points in 36 minutes?
Who saw that coming? I agree.
Robitou is just going to let the clock run out, and that's going to...
Oh, no, Robitou wants buckets.
He's
getting a shot.
I thought he was going to go for it. Carter will grab it.
Get Jake Davis a shot.
Gets it off to Jake Davis. Jake lost it out of bounds. They're going to let the clock go, and that's going to do it. The final score here in Brisbane as the Brisbane Capitals advance to the Grand Finals is 105-90. Again, guys, we said it throughout the whole call. Super impressive performance from the Brisbane Capitals. You got to like where they're at heading into a Grand Final Series if you're a Caps fan.
Yeah, really good display. Top to bottom, great start. Little shaky in the middle, handled Rockhampton's comeback, and then did a great job to close it out. So it's a super performance from the Capitals, and they've been the form team all year, and now they're going to host the Grand Final.
If you're Brisbane, you look at the other score, and it looks like it is going to, we'll refresh the score and see if it's any closer. 65-52 under 5, so it's not over yet.
No, not over yet.
But if you're the Brisbane Capitals, who do you think they match up best with, the Gold Coast or Townsville, Dan?
Well, I think both those opponents have different looks, obviously, and require a different game plan, maybe in terms of the defensive end. But I think regardless of who they face next week, the Capitals would be thinking it's more about them. And if they come out and play to their strengths, get Kadee going, get Will Magnay going. But if the likes of Colby Wilson and Zach Carter's and these other guys, Aaron Anderson, obviously very, very important part of what they do. If they do what they did tonight, regardless of who walks in next week, they'll be feeling really confident about themselves. They've worked hard all year, not only during the season, but obviously the pre-season, all the work they put in to earn home court. So regardless of who they host, they're the overwhelming favourite to me. So Capitals fans should be really excited in terms of what's to come next weekend.
The women's side of things, the Southern District Lady Spartans have advanced to the Grand Finals as well, so they'll be hosting. So both Grand Final Series will be here in Brisbane in 2 weeks' time. The other women's semifinal is in overtime. Townsville and the Gold Coast playing in both semifinals. The women are up in Townsville in overtime, and the men are trailing the Gold Coast Rollers. Dave, what do you think about the potential matchups next week? What do you think if you're the Gold Coast or Townsville? How do you approach trying to slow down this Capitals team?
Well, I agree with Dan. I think if I'm Sam McKinnon, I don't really care who I play, to be frank. I think he's got them playing really good basketball, offensively and defensively. They're number one in points scored, and I think they're number 2 in defensive field goal percentage as well. So, I agree. It's all about what they're going to do and focusing. But, the Gold Coast got a great squad, some savvy veterans. Assuming Gold Coast can hold on. Equally, they've got a lot of veteran players as well, similar to this Rockhampton group. So, it just really, again, who turns up on the night and can deliver. I mean, Rockhampton tonight averaged 51 points in the paint. I don't know what it finished, but it sure wasn't 51, and they needed it. And so their front court, I think, got outplayed tonight, and equally that's why they lost by 15.
And you look at the start, if you're Rockhampton, the start really killed you. You dug yourself a deep hole right at the beginning, and it took so much of your energy just to get it back closed that I think it really sapped you. And I think when they go back and watch this tape, I think they'll rue the fact that they started so poorly.
Yeah, they did. And again, I thought equally they showed really good mettle to come back into the game. They were down 20 basically early second quarter, and they were right there. I think it was a 4-point game at one point. Might have been as close as it got. Couple of silly tech fouls. Defensively, they weren't great. So again, if I'm Gold Coast, I'm watching and going, Brisbane's I think they're beatable. You know what I mean? So Gold Coast will take out some of those positives that were lessons for Rockhampton tonight as well.
I agree, and I think, let's say Mickey Conlon is coming up next weekend. If that's the matchup, I'm pretty sure he's going to watch this tape, and there's no chance they're going to come out next week and switch an on-ball screen with Magnay and let Kadee have a head of steam and give Magnay a matchup as good as Reece Munnington in the post. They're not going to do that, so I think a lot of the errors that Rockhampton committed, it's a great learning tool for whoever comes in next weekend. But like we've both said, the Caps are going to be really confident regardless of who the matchup is, but there's enough there to give the other side confidence too, which means we're going to have an awesome series.
It's going to be great. Let's just take a quick look through the final stats, Dave. Obviously, super impressive performance from the Capitals. Jason Kadee had a huge night. I thought Aaron Anderson might have been the best player on the court tonight. He did a bit of everything defensively. He had the assignment on Bruce as well. He also guarded Robitel, had a few steals, few dimes. Yeah, I'm sure he was in double digits.
I probably agree with you, but then the naysayers may say we're insane when Kadee has 36. But I completely agree. Anderson was terrific in the lanes, staying connected to his man, getting deflections, 4 steals, did a terrific job. Anderson finished with 19 and 5 and 4 steals. Kobe Wilson, 12 points, great defense. We talked about that all night. Ben Wilson, 4. Kadee, 36, was terrific. He set the tone.
Magnay had about 40 dunks.
Yeah, 20.
He was
20.
great.
Well, I thought he
20
was
and 9
really
Magnay,
important to start the game. And if you look at the big guys, Carla aside, the starting bigs for Rockhampton, import and one of the best NBL bigs we've had in a while. I think Magnay came out and went dunk, dunk, and one dunk, dunk.
Yeah.
And that set the tone. And those bigs for Rockhampton didn't really have much of an impact at all as a result. And I think they were put on their heels early and couldn't quite recover.
Anything for Rocky? Jump out at you?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, Bruce got hot late, finished with 24, 10 turnovers for Bruce, which is, a little bit un-Bruce-ish. But, he had the pressure of, like we said, that 3-4 guards coming at him all night long.
27 for a team versus 6 for Brisbane.
Yeah.
That says a lot right there. And something else that jumps out, 13 minutes for James Mitchell. I'd love to know what happened there, because something went down, I think, whether it was an injury or who knows, but unusual for him only to play 13 minutes.
Yeah, and Brisbane shot the ball really well, 17 to 30.
And have a look at the shot attempts, Dave.
Yeah.
84 shot attempts for Brisbane, only 65 attempts for Rockhampton.
Yeah.
And Brisbane obviously shot at a great clip as well, so it wasn't like they were just jacking shots. They were getting great looks and knocking them down.
Really good game here, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us here. It does look like Gold Coast is up still. I think they're up 14 with under 3 to go. the women's game in Townsville. It's Townsville up by 1 with about 8 seconds to go on the Gold Coast Lady Rollers.
Rollers up 16 with 250.
Some exciting games. Keep an eye on the other live streams. I think every single game is live streamed, so congratulations to all the associations and Basketball Queensland for getting it done. But that's going to wrap it up for us here, folks. Thanks again for tuning in to another presentation of QBL basketball. We will have every game of the grand final, both the men's and women's, for you in 2 weeks' time. I do want to take the time to thank everybody here. I got to thank my co-commentators, Dan George, Dave Derwin, Chris Eber on the camera, and of course, as always, I got to thank James Bowman and the Australian Sports Network, and also thank Basketball Queensland for giving us this opportunity. And thanks to all the fans who tuned in and everyone who sent us messages on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget, we'll see you in a few weeks' time for the QBL Grand Finals here, live from NAB Stadium in Augenflower. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.